Uh, the big
I guess that's a good thing.
wood table.
That's a good thing.
Moved into an apartment last weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Did somehow.
so gotta stay fly all summer.
Good.
Found an apartment down there.
Boss says show up.
Okay, is Daniel on his way? The Greenville City Council to order, and there are no items to be discussed in work sessions. So, we'll go into executive session at this point in time, and we'll be back at 6 o'clock. Thank you for being here.
You shouldn't hear.
Okay, I'll call this meeting, regular session of the Greenville City Council to order. Ask Councilman Freeman to please offer the invocation. Please stand and remove any caps you have on.
Heavenly Father, we just come to you this evening, thanking you for the city council and thank you for those that came to the city council meeting. I ask you to bless us all, Lord, and protect us from all dangers, seen and unseen, Lord. But I have to say that this world is going morally mad. There's so much evil out in this world. But Lord, you already know what's going on, and you already know your plan that's going to go through. But Lord, bless the city council. Help us to make wise decisions for the people that we represent, Father. It's not about us, it's about the people we represent. And Lord, I just give you the praise, the glory, and the honor. This I pray in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Kenneth. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. We have a number of presentations tonight. The first item on our presentation agenda is for Judge Stovall to administer the oath of office to our Place 3, Philip Spencer, and Place 4, Larry Davis. So I'd like to do that. Before we do that, I want to make an announcement, though. Talk just a little bit about the election. The Place 4 election, there are over 2,600 people registered to vote in that district. 66 voted. That's 2.88%. And for the special election, there were a number of 6 charter amendments, I believe, and there were over 17,000 registered voters that could vote on that, and the total votes cast were 647, or 3.66%. And I think our community can do better. I don't know if we're not communicating, but I hope in future we'll have more participation in our elections. So, thank you. Please, Judge, if you would administer the oath to these gentlemen.
Philip?
I believe.
They can hear you.
This one doesn't work.
It does. They just want you to
No,
hold.
it's fine,
They want
it's
you to be
fine.
the game show host.
I guess so. I've done worse things. All right, raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Philip R. Spencer,
I, Philip R. Spencer,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of City Council Member, Place 3, execute the duties of the office of City Council Member, Place 3
of City Council Member, Place 3
of the City of Greenville,
of the City of Greenville,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States, defend the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
There you go. Congratulations. Sorry I cut that
You're going to have to repeat that because I didn't remember.
off. I'll take it one word at a time. We grew up together, so I know about him.
We never saw this day coming.
All right. I, Larry P. Davis,
I, Larry P. Davis,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of City Council Member, Place 4
of City Council Member, Place 4
of the City of Greenville,
of the City of Greenville,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item on the presentation agenda is a presentation by Grant Works, overview of Texas Community Development Block Grant. Yes. Please come forward and identify yourself, please.
Sure. Good evening, Council, Mayor. My name is Sam Lilly with GrantWorks. I'm a Director of the Community Development Department. Here to provide this presentation. It's pretty much just a template that's created by Department of Agriculture, and I'll walk through the explanation of what Section 3 is. Like the Mayor said, it is an element that's involved with the downtown revitalization grant that is going to improve sidewalks and streetlights and ADA compliance along Wesley Street, seemingly from the parking lot that's a couple of blocks north to be able to reach here. So this is just an element that's required before the grant gets into the construction phase, and making council aware of one of the requirements that HUD needs. So first sheet, the grant number listed there is just Department of Agriculture. The award amount, although that's not the construction amount, but the total award amount was $500,000. Like I mentioned, is downtown revitalization along Wesley Street, and involves sidewalk improvements, some lighting, ramps for ADA compliance. The grant is funded through Community Development Block Grant, which initially is Housing and Urban Development through the U.S. government, and those funds are then handed over to Department of Agriculture, and they administer them throughout the state to be able to perform not just the downtown revitalization, but other infrastructure grants throughout the state annually. So condition of the funding is this presentation, and so a component of that is that the City of Greenville complies with the Section 3 of the Housing and Urban Development Act of 1968. And so the concept of that is to the great extent feasible, grant recipients direct economic opportunities generated by these funds for low and very low income persons. And so we'll get into couple of the descriptions for what that is. So there's two pieces. There are Section 3 businesses, which are able to certify themselves and be deemed a Section 3 business based on a few criteria. And there's also what is identified as Section 3 workers. And so that's a little bit more of the focus of the presentation, is in getting into the construction phase of this contract, then having the opportunity to be able to hire low-income individuals for opportunities as they present themselves for the contract. And a lot more definitions are listed in the TDA policy there at the bottom, and we can get you a copy of that as well. It is a little bit outdated. It's still from 2021, so some of this has changed since. So Section 3 business, their criteria involves being owned by very low-income persons based on some additional criteria depending on regional areas. Also, it could be owned by a Section 8 assisted housing residents. And a third component that would qualify a business for Section 3 would be 75% of the labor hours within that 3-month period be performed by Section 3 workers. So HUD does have a Section 3 page. This link, unfortunately, has changed, which, as most links do, over a few years. But the Section 3 component does still exist and is available for businesses to attempt to be qualified as Section 3. There isn't any additional benefit necessarily as far as being selected as a contractor, but it is an opportunity for low-income businesses to be able to at least have the opportunity to propose for work.
I have one
Yes,
question about
sure.
your third bullet there on the first paragraph, the 75% of all labor hours. So that stands on its own, I assume. If a private owner could benefit from that, just as long as he used 75% of those labors, right?
Correct,
Is that right?
yes.
Okay,
Mhm,
so
yeah.
it stands on its own, essentially.
Yes, it does, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
if they wanted to utilize that to qualify, that would be the criteria that they could provide to certify as a Section 3 business. That's correct. All right, so the Section 3 business opportunities that exist for this contract, administrative and engineering services have already been selected, but by and large, the ability for Section 3 workers and Section 3 hours to be utilized, engineering is actually exempt, so it would just be the administrative component, but that hiring has already happened. But the focus for the presentation is really just for the construction services. That has the highest opportunity for new employment for the contract. A lot of the bidders may not have a full staff to be able to perform this work, and so as they consider subcontractors or individual employees that they would like to hire for the work, even if it is temporary, this is kind of the opportunity for them to look for the Section 3 workers that are in the area. So Section 3 worker, their criteria first would be depending on annual income based on regional area, and it's set for within the slide, so it would be the very low income limits based on family size. So they would have an opportunity to apply or qualify as a Section 3 worker and look for employment opportunities predominantly through Texas Workforce Commission. Another component would be that if they are current or recent youth build participant, that's another way in which they can identify as a Section 3 worker. And then at the bottom, just a couple of additional links that provide information as far as if a Section 3 worker wanted to register, or if an individual wanted to register as a Section 3 worker based on the criteria, this would be where they would go to do that, and also to potentially find work as a Section 3 worker. So for the City of Greenville and for this contract, HUD, the way that it works for HUD, and this is a component that is really kind of difficult because we consider the Section 3 worker component in all aspects of the country. So from an extremely urban environment to a very rural environment, the criteria that they set is within a 1 mile radius of the project, then any census tract block group is those individuals would be eligible as what's deemed as a targeted Section 3 worker, meaning that you live close enough to the project that it would be, and again, there's not really a great benefit for the contract itself or for the project itself. It's just an element to report on the fact that you have the availability to hire Section 3 workers. And again, because of the way the contracts work, and generally you're awarding to the lowest responsive bidder, they may not be a Section 3 business, they may not be looking to hire anyone, but so you're a little bit held back from being able to really look for targeted Section 3 workers. But if there was an opportunity for a single job, then in not even really necessarily preference, but the opportunity would be available to report on the fact that you have hired a targeted Section 3 worker. And it's just basically, like I said, located within the proximity to the contract. So a breakdown, and like it says, City Greenville will track all the hours. GrantWorks will do that for you guys. We will work with the contractor that's awarded to be able to provide those hours, and it's just reported monthly, and then we collect them at the end and we provide them to Department of Agriculture as part of the closeout of the grant. But there won't be any additional effort and no action is needed on the part of council or even the city. GrantWorks will take care of all of the reporting elements that are involved with that. And last, just real quick, these are the policy for Department of Agriculture involved with the targeted Section 3 worker and the Section 3 workers and businesses, and then also the CFR that's affiliated with the Section 3 rules and regulations. Any questions?
Any questions?
Okay.
Thank you for being here tonight. And
Yes. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
certainly appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, the next item on the presentation agenda will be postponed. And so item D is a presentation for the National Public Works Week, which I will make. I guess you have some public works workers here or not? So shall I just read the proclamation? It is, okay. Okay, so whereas American Public Works, the American Public Works Association would designate May 17th through the 23rd of 2026 as National Public Works Week, the theme Rooted in Service, Powered by Community. And whereas the foundation of Public Works is deeply rooted in service, driving innovations that support safe, healthy, and thriving communities. Whereas Public Works professionals provide essential services, both visible and unseen, including the construction and maintenance of streets, bridges, water systems, wastewater infrastructure, drainage systems, and public facilities. And whereas these dedicated individuals serve as first responders in times of emergency, they restore vital services during outages, they maintain safe and accessible roadways, and ensure reliable solid waste services for the citizens of Greenville. Whereas their commitment to excellence reflects a profound dedication to improving the quality of life of our citizens and strengthening the connection between public service and the community it supports. And I wish they could be here tonight so we could congratulate them. They do a lot for our community, and I guess you can, this will show up somewhere. So, okay. I'll call your attention to two placeholders in the agenda: citizens to be heard and public testimony. Citizens to be heard are to be heard on items that are not already scheduled for public hearing, are not on the agenda. Public testimony starts with ordinances tonight, ordinance 7A, for items that are on the agenda. So if you'd like to address the city council on any of these issues, please present a citizen's comment card to the city secretary. Now I'll just ask, are there citizens? Okay.
Joyce Dryling.
Joyce Dryling, 6404 Buena Vista Drive, Greenville. A lot of issues on Joe Ramsey at King Street with the yield signs. People are going towards the left side of the yield sign when they go to turn into where Open Imaging is, or up King Street. The other is Live Oak. Same thing. If somebody's trying to pull a U-turn instead of staying where the yield sign is, there needs to be just a small strip of paint put on both those intersections. Hospital, whether you're trying to take a left into the medical plaza across from the hospital or trying to turn to the hospital, the yield sign on the left is where everybody turns. Thank you.
Thank you. No more citizens. Okay, we'll move to item 7A, consideration and action on an ordinance awarding a contract for Greenville CDBG Downtown Revitalization Program, the grant number, and Madison.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We are finally getting some progress on our downtown grant, and we did open bids up per the grant requirements. We received 2 back. A and D paving was actually the lowest by about $75,000, so we're going to go ahead and go forward with them. If you have any questions, MTG Stovall is here for engineering, and then Grant Works is here about the administrative side.
Any questions? Okay, and I'll just ask, are any requests for public testimony tonight? No? Okay. So what is the pleasure of the council regarding this item 7A?
I'm making a motion to approve.
Second.
Please vote.
Okay.
And let the record reflect it passed 5-0 with 2 abstentions, 2 members not here tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Item 7B will be postponed. We're waiting some additional data on that item. So the next item is a resolution, consideration and action on a resolution electing a mayor pro tem to serve a 1-year term. And I just want to say to the council that this past year, TJ has served as a mayor pro tem, and he's done a great job of helping me out and filling in for me when I couldn't meet some of the obligations. So I certainly want to compliment him on that. So is there a motion regarding this item?
Yes, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to nominate TJ Goss, place 2, as mayor pro tem.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. Please vote. And that item passes 5-0. Item 8B, consideration and action on a resolution approving the adoption of the Greenville Downtown Plan. And again, this item will be referred to a subcommittee, the Vision 22 subcommittee comprised of myself, Ben, and Ramon. So I'd like for you to schedule that if you would, and maybe next week if you can. As soon as you can, to review some of the issues that we need to discuss before we present this back to the council, if you would, please. Consider item 8C, consideration action on a motion to rescind the award on resolution 26-47, awarding the mowing contract to Earthworks Services LLC, rejecting all bids received and authorizing city staff to re-advertise and I assume rebid the project.
Yes, Mayor, Council, good evening. So I wanted to kind of start off, this is nothing against Earthworks LLC. This is more about the process, right? So at the last, when you guys approved this, we brought it to you last time, Mr. Spencer asked if we had spoke to everybody. I answered confidently we had, because we discussed the process internally, and what we discovered is that we had a breakdown in communication, and that did not happen. So what our recommendation is to rescind it, and we didn't get everything out of the specs that we wanted to, which is why we would have to contact the vendors. And so we've worked together to pull a set of specs that we could rebid out, and we feel like that'd be a better process moving forward. So, and I apologize for any issues I've caused you guys. So.
Okay, Thank you, Brett. Are there any questions for the council?
I'd just like to say, Brett, thank you for stepping up and taking care of this. I think it's important that we get this right, so and I appreciate your efforts.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there a motion regarding this item?
I'll make a motion to approve.
A second.
Second.
Please vote. And that item passes 5-0. Item 8D, consideration and action on resolution authorizing change order 21 with Adolfo and Peterson Gulf States in the amount of $368,000 for the sports park Reese Davis Recreation Center projects.
Yes, sir. So, Mayor, Council, so this is change order 21. So some of the things that we'll have in there is some landscape clarifications. The biggest item, bless you. The biggest item is $303,000 for the skate park enhancement, and what that's going to be is the hardscape and the landscape around the skate park, and then you've got about $50,000 that's going to go towards the building. So with this change order, $303,000 of this will come from parkland dedication. So that would leave about roughly $56,000 that would go towards the project, leaving us with about $666,000 remaining in contingency.
Great job that you've done out there. If you haven't seen the Reese Davis, you need to get out and look at it. It's just unbelievable. It really is. Tremendous asset for the city. Are there any questions for Brett regarding this change order?
I do.
Yes, sir.
Why do we have so many change orders? Where does that come in? I know people
Yes, sir.
start building a house and want new faucets and sinks and stuff. So
Yep.
is this something that the architects originally left out, or?
Kind of a combination of both, right? Some with the complexity of this project, especially SPC. When you've got architectural engineering, you've got electrical, you've got plumbing, and then you have a general contractor. So, in the beginning, when we saw the spec book, we knew that there were going to be change orders, and the way we structured it is different than how most cities would have done it in the past, in terms of they'll just approve on the front end on the contract, hey, we're going to approve $3.5 million towards change orders, and they just approve them at the end when the project's over. So whereas we come to you to be transparent with you, the community, and so where you have changes in the ceiling conflicts, so that's due to structural, some of the air conditioning ductwork, and we ran clash tests, we saw them. They're 3D when they run those tests to try to find all those things. You're just unfortunately not going to find everything. So,
But the project is still under budget?
yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And on time.
Hopefully. Yes, sir.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Did you have a question?
I do want to bring out, just so if the public does have questions, I know the city, we've been putting all these change orders, and every line item is for the public view online. Brett has done a great job being transparent, and I think for the public, we've done a great job to build that trust and make sure that every dollar, every penny, every cent has been accounted for. I thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank
Great
you.
job.
Appreciate you guys.
Okay. Are there any, Ramon, did you have something? Okay. What is the pleasure of the council regarding this item 8D?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Please vote. Item 8D passes unanimously.
Thank y'all.
Resolution approving a standard lease agreement between the City of Greenville and tenants establishing the terms under which the individual tenant will occupy a single aircraft hangar owned by the City of Greenville. And this item will be postponed tonight pending some additional data that we've requested. Item 8F, consideration and action on a resolution of the City of Greenville regarding application of the Greenville Development LLC, Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs for, pardon my voice, for 2026 low-income housing tax credits for the development known as 5711 Nautilus, located at 5711 Industrial Drive. Daniel?
All right, this is one of two that came up for recent consideration. The other one, the city rejected and sent in a letter to the TDHCA saying that it was opposed. That was a apartment project in the old Cadillac building which is, I think everybody around here knows, about to fall down. But this is for a raw piece of property that's immediately adjacent to the Ranch View Apartments. This is for 120 units of affordable housing over there. And the city basically has choices for any of these projects that come up for the 9% competitive housing Texas credit category to either approve them, reject them, or take no action. By approving this one tonight, it would give that one, I think, 3 more points out of 100 points. But it would be, it's basically a new set of apartment buildings that would be built right next to the Ranch View, where there's already many buildings out there. These would match those as well. And so clearly that property doesn't have any of the same problems that the proposed project downtown would have. We discussed this a couple of council meetings ago, and I was asked to bring it back to this council meeting to look at approving this resolution in support of that particular project.
Any questions? Okay, what is the pleasure of the council regarding this item 8F?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Please vote. And item 8F passes unanimously. I'd like to ask the city secretary to read the consent calendar, please.
City Council meeting minutes from April 28th. Resolution to revise and extend the attorney services contract. A resolution authorizing release of retainage for completion of the 20-inch fusible PVC East Loop transmission water line in the city's distribution system. An ordinance to revise and extend the city manager's employment contract.
Okay. Are there any questions regarding any of these 4 items? If not, what is the pleasure of the council regarding these items, the consent calendar?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Please vote. And the consent calendar passes unanimously. There are no city staff or city council reports tonight. Item 11, city council discussion of proposed agenda items. Are there any items council member would like to bring to the council for discussion?
Yeah, Mayor, I have one. I know the sports park, we've had a lot of rainouts here recently. I know in Greenville, we have a lot of families with the young kids. I invite everyone to get out there on a Saturday morning when we do have baseball, soccer going on. There's parking lots full. The fields are filled with parents in the stand, kiddos in the on the playing fields. I'd like to see about starting to turf maybe one field a year to get to. I think our fields need to be turfed out there. We're canceling a lot of games. I know families are getting upset about having to cancel. I know that's a burden on our Park and Recs department as well. So maybe just looking into that. Not saying we have to turf every field out there just at once. I know that would cost millions of dollars, but maybe looking at doing 1 or 2 a year as we move forward.
I think that's a good suggestion, and we've discussed that in the past. So we'll include that in our budget discussions, upcoming budget discussions. Is there any other items you'd like to bring before the council?
I do. I don't know if it's part of the parking lot or if it's a city street, the road that runs through the Cary Crossing, like in front of Lowe's, behind Chick-fil-A and Cotton Patch, is a city, and it's got stop signs and all that stuff on it. Is that ours or is it?
It is not. No, that's a private road.
Okay, I'm afraid of that. There's a bush growing out there that you cannot see to come out from behind.
We can contact the original developer and work with them. We've worked with them before, so we can certainly do that.
Okay, super blind corner. It's right there on would be the northeast side of the, I think Chick-fil-A property.
Chick-fil-A, okay.
Behind Cotton Patch.
Okay. Yeah, we can reach out to them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Day. Are there any other items council would like to discuss. Okay, item 12, there are no boards and commission minutes. We had our executive session meeting at 4 o'clock, and we were completed with executive session. So thank you for coming tonight. This meeting is adjourned.